Strong women do not have attitude. They have standards and boundaries. Don't confuse myself.
What happens when someone prioritizes internet fame over their career? Today we're diving into a wild story that perfectly illustrates how social media can destroy your professional life in seconds. A woman named Brittany just learned this lesson the hardest way possible, and the entire internet watched it unfold in real time. Picture this scenario. You're scrolling through TikTok when you come across a video of someone doing something absolutely ridiculous for views. Maybe you laugh, maybe you cringe, but you definitely don't expect to witness that person's entire career implode moments later. Well, that's exactly what happened here, and the aftermath is both shocking and completely predictable. Brittany decided to record herself in what she thought would be a hilarious TikTok video. The content? She appeared to urinate on the floor. Yes, you heard that correctly. Someone actually thought filming themselves in this compromising position would be comedy gold. But here's where things get interesting. Instead of just posting and moving on, she made another critical error that would seal her fate entirely. The video went viral, but not in the way she hoped. Her co-workers discovered it. Her management team saw it. And suddenly, her phone was ringing with what she somehow sensed would be very bad news. Instead of handling this situation privately, she made yet another questionable decision. She hit record again. What follows is one of the most uncomfortable termination calls you'll ever witness. Her employer doesn't waste time with pleasantries. They get straight to the point. The company became aware of her TikTok video, and several employees expressed serious concerns about her behavior. The management team reviewed the content and determined it completely contradicted their company values. The conversation is brutally professional. No shouting, no drama, just cold corporate efficiency. They inform her that her employment is terminated immediately. Her final paycheck will arrive with the next pay cycle, and her access to company systems has already been revoked.
No man is a man without a woman. It's a woman that helps the man to be a man. A man that don't have a woman don't know if he's one. What do I mean by that? A woman will test you to see if you are what you say you are.
They even request she return any company property as soon as possible. But here's where this story takes an even more bizarre turn. After getting fired for posting inappropriate content online, what does Brittany do? She posts the entire termination call online too. Think about that logic for a moment. She just lost her job because of poor social media judgment, and her immediate response is to compound the problem with even more questionable social media choices. This decision essentially nuked any possibility of finding future employment. Imagine being a hiring manager and discovering that a potential candidate not only posted inappropriate content that got them fired, but then publicly shared their termination call. What employer would ever trust someone with such catastrophically poor judgment? The internet has created this dangerous illusion that everything in our private lives should become public content. People film themselves in bathrooms, during intimate moments, and apparently even during professional disciplinary actions. There's this fundamental misunderstanding about privacy. The moment you post something online, it's no longer private. It becomes permanent digital evidence that can surface at any time. Modern social media culture encourages this behavior through engagement metrics. Views, likes, comments, and shares become more valuable than actual consequences. People become addicted to the dopamine hit of viral content, even when that content could destroy their lives. The pursuit of internet fame overrides basic common sense and self-preservation instincts. What's particularly frustrating is how preventable this entire situation was. Any reasonable person would understand that recording yourself urinating, even as a joke, isn't appropriate workplace-adjacent content. Employers have legitimate concerns about their company's reputation and workplace culture. When employees post content that reflects poorly on the organization, termination becomes inevitable.
Self-acceptance is a long journey. Self-respecting is a long journey. Self-love takes time. And I realized that I was trying to love myself and accept my reality, but there was something that was stopping me.
The restaurant industry example mentioned in the aftermath perfectly illustrates this point. It doesn't matter whether someone actually contaminated food or just pretended to for views. Customers will avoid that establishment because of the perceived risk. Public perception becomes reality in business, and companies must protect themselves from liability and reputation damage. This incident reveals a broader cultural problem with personal responsibility and consequence awareness. Social media platforms have created environments where shock value content gets rewarded with attention, but users aren't educated about the potential real-world ramifications. The algorithm doesn't care if your viral video costs you your career. The generational divide becomes apparent here too. Older hiring managers and executives grew up in an era where professional and personal lives remained separate. They struggle to understand why someone would voluntarily destroy their reputation for temporary internet fame. Meanwhile, younger generations have been conditioned to believe that authentic self-expression online is more important than professional consequences. What makes this story even more tragic is the complete lack of self-awareness displayed throughout. Even after facing immediate professional consequences, the decision to publicize the termination call shows no learning or growth. It's pure doubling down on the same behavior that caused the initial problem. The employment market has fundamentally changed because of social media. Employers routinely check candidates' online presence before making hiring decisions. They're looking for red flags that might indicate poor judgment, unprofessional behavior, or potential liability issues. This video essentially created a permanent digital scarlet letter that will follow this person indefinitely. Recovery from this type of public professional embarrassment requires genuine accountability and significant time. It means acknowledging the poor judgment, demonstrating personal growth, and rebuilding professional credibility through consistent, responsible behavior. Unfortunately, the decision to share the termination call suggests this learning process hasn't begun.
You go work out regularly for 6 months, 5, 6, 7 days a week, looking savage. You eat right. You develop those abs. And as you develop those abs, you tell me that your anxiety and depression don't just magically go away. You just need to get fit and jacked. Because in the process of getting fit and jacked, in the process of eating right, doing it for a long period of time, you develop traits of discipline.
The broader lesson extends beyond individual consequences. This incident should serve as a warning about the permanent nature of digital content and the importance of thinking before posting. What seems funny in the moment can have devastating long-term implications for career prospects, personal relationships, and overall life trajectory. Social media literacy needs to include education about professional boundaries and consequence evaluation. Users should ask themselves whether potential content aligns with their career goals and personal values. The temporary satisfaction of viral fame rarely justifies permanent professional damage. This story perfectly encapsulates our current digital age dilemma. We've created platforms that reward extreme behavior while simultaneously maintaining professional standards that demand restraint and good judgment. Navigating this contradiction requires wisdom that many users simply haven't developed yet. The real tragedy isn't just one person's career destruction. It's the broader cultural message that internet fame justifies any behavior, regardless of consequences. Until we develop healthier relationships with social media validation, these types of self-destructive incidents will continue happening with increasing frequency. Sometimes the most important content we can create is the content we choose not to post.